Welcome to another edition of Blades Q&A presented by Bud Light. Mike Kelly here in the Everblades front office, and the Sol train is back, joined by defenseman Cody Sol. Tell us, Cody, how did you get the nickname Sol Train?
It was actually in Kitchener I got it. So I forget, it was my first year there, a few games in. There's three guys that were in the corner. You know, Kitchener, they have the front row and standing, and the seat starts to that. There's three guys standing there wearing train conductor outfits, the conductor hats on, and they said they just go cheer on the Sol train. They invented it, and then that's when Twitter and social media and stuff like that, Facebook started to become popular, and so I was like, I'll just run with it, and it's been sticking since then. So, and it seems to work. And I when I was in Fort Wayne, I actually made T-shirts for it. So it's definitely a name that stuck with me, and it's done well for me. So.
Awesome. It is catchy, no question. What has your off-season been like so far?
It's been busy. You know, with the uncertainty of when the season was to start, I knew that I was going to need to have more of a job this summer. Like, usually in the summers, we have 2.5 months, 3 months. So you do a little bit of work and stuff like that, but a lot of training and skating. This summer, I knew it was going to be longer. So I actually been doing carpentry with my buddy, and then he needed a guy when I got back. So I learned a new trade this summer, which is awesome. It will come in handy later on in life. And then now I'm starting to get more into full-time skating and training full-time. I built the gym actually in my buddy's garage here. So it worked out well till the gyms were closed. So now the gyms are opened up again, and so I've been training there and skating 3 times a week. So it's been fun. So it's been busy, but it's been a good summer, even though for everything that happened, it's been a good summer.
Last season, you played for Toledo and Cincinnati of the ECHL before joining Florida. What was it like to play for 3 teams in one season?
It was weird, you know, because playing junior, I played in Saginaw for those 2.5 years, and then got a trade in the summer, played in Kitchener, played there for 2 years. Then I was in Winnipeg system for 2 years and never got traded out of there, and then decided to sign Fort Wayne and stayed there for 5 years. So I don't like to bounce around teams. Maybe it's a testament to my character too, that I can stick around in locker rooms for a while. But at the same point, it was frustrating. It was I went to Toledo thinking it was going to be on there, and then they signed a veteran defenseman playing the NHL, so it's understandable. He had to his career, and then went to Cincinnati and ended up being a futures trade that needed me. But getting traded down to Florida, it was awesome. You know, it was tough at first with being that far from home. I'm a big family-oriented person, and going down to Florida, it was tough. But actually, I had a lot of people who came to visit, and it's actually a better place to come visit than Cincinnati or Toledo. It's a little warmer down there, so they enjoyed that. But and then I found the fit there with the guys in Florida, and the coaches seemed to take a liking to me, and it was new for me. Especially going to Toledo, I had to prove myself. Cincinnati, to prove myself, and then Florida again, I had to prove myself. So being in Fort Wayne for so long, it was a new season for me, just to prove myself every time, and I think it made me a better player throughout the season. So yeah, obviously you don't like to move around all the time and be called that so-called suitcase, but I don't think the suitcase is really implemented on me, just the way the situations were. But definitely happy I'm in Florida, and I'm happy I'm going to go back.
Well, you're a big presence on the ice, 6'6", and play strong defensively. But during Pink in the Rink weekend with the Blades, you scored 3 goals in 2 games. How much fun was that stint?
It was a lot of fun. You know, me and my dad were joking around. I even had Hugo sent me a backdoor pass too. I almost had a hat trick, and I was like, for some reason, it was just those games. I don't know what it was. You just see in the ice just a little bit better that night, or just you have a little more confidence and a little hop in your step. But it was a lot of fun. I don't have many games like that, so it's definitely a game. It's easy to remember those games. You don't have too many of them. So, but yeah, definitely. I try my best to be a presence on our team and to protect my teammates, and also play a defensive game. But it's just, even when you're watching these NHL playoffs, when secondary scoring and guys that don't usually score goals can put the puck in the net for you, it just helps the team get that much further and gives a relief off the top guys, and it just shows you the kind of team we had. If guys like me can can still put up a little bit of offense with the offensive guys still around. It definitely shows a good testament to a good team.
Well, you're the pride of Woodstock, Ontario, Canada. Who did you look up to when you were playing youth hockey?
There's a kid, Jake Muzzin. I'm sure you guys know him. He was a few years older than me, so I kind of knew the path that could happen, and I followed him around and kind of see what his path was. He had a tough injury when he was younger, so when he was in Sault Ste. Marie. So there's not a whole lot of guys from Woodstock. There's a few guys I played with that a few of us went to the OHL and some minor league pro, but Jake Muzzin was obviously the highest caliber out of Woodstock. And so we had junior C games, and obviously you're used to these small towns. You obviously junior C and junior B teams around. So I grew up watching a lot of that hockey, and at the time I thought that was awesome, going to those games. And you don't really realize until you get a little older that you have the potential to play further than that into some better leagues too. So it was exciting when I first got drafted to the O. And it was kind of nice to have a guy from my hometown that was able to go through those steps for me.
If you could have your own Enter the Ice song, what would it be and why?
Probably the singer is the Soul Man. The song. My dad, when he went to college for 1 year, they called him the Soul Man, and they would sing that in the hallway when he's walking around. So I think he would enjoy that. So I think it would be fun to have something like that for my father, and then it's a good little song too. I've heard a few times. So.
Everblades teammate Ben Masella says that you're a pretty good chef. Have you always enjoyed cooking?
I do enjoy cooking. I wouldn't say I try out a whole lot of things, but I do like to do my own cooking, especially during the season. We have a little extra spare time, so you have the time to prepare your meals and the steaks and stuff in the apartment we live in, which is an awesome setup. They have those outdoor grills, so it makes it real easy down in Florida with our schedule and the setup we have to be able to cook like that. So I do like cooking, but at the same point, it's still fuel for the body. So sometimes you just go through these moments where I just need this food in me too. But
cool. On road trips, a lot of guys like to play the card game called Schnarps. Who's the best card player on the team?
I would say Johnny Mack is the best card player. He was injured for a little bit, so he missed a few road trips. And so Ben Masella, he actually took over and won a lot of matches, a lot of games. I didn't realize. Then Johnny Mack came out and I was like, hey, Johnny Mack's he's the best player. I don't know what it is. He has a confidence with the cards or whatever. He just manipulates you somehow. I don't know what it is, but we spend a lot of hours playing that game, especially with some of the road trips out to South Carolina and Greenville. It's just a lot of hours on the bus, but that's how we become friends. It's how we become brothers and all that stuff. So it's something that it's just some grueling hours in the bus, but there's a lot of good times on those buses, a lot of memories you remember when you're done playing. So definitely, I would say Johnny Mack's the best cards player. But I like to play. I don't win often, but I do like to play. I like to be back in the area and mix it up. I'm more of a joke teller, so maybe that's why I can't win. I'm too focused on jokes.
Well, we can't wait to see that Soul Train back in action and back in gear. It won't be long now.
Can't wait to be back too, and hopefully sooner than later. So I'm excited to get the season started.
Thanks, Cody, for joining us. That's defenseman Cody Sol of the Florida Everblades, and thanks for joining us on another edition of Blades Q&A presented by Bud Light.